Yeah.
A tie and a dressing crown and you're there. Your kimono.
Come on.
When you and Debs are having date night.
Ready to watch stuff!
I've been trying to find the right kimono for so long.
Save it for the podcast. God damn it.
Oh, you can! There are no rules.
Oy.
You fucking bastard.
The only rule is there are no rules.
It's like fucking the ref from bare knuckle fighting, you know. Every time
Knuckle up.
Knuckle up!
Knuckle up.
Every time they say there are no rules. Yeah, all right, we get it.
Excuse me.
I'm so happy you guys watched it. Well, I know Ed watched it. Pete, did you watch?
No, I'm not supposed to watch it yet.
Oh, Pete.
I thought it was you'll recommend it this time and then we'll watch it and then talk about it. I've just realised a fatal flaw in my ninja plan. I can't drink my...
I made her watch it with me.
You're dead to me, Chris.
Perfect.
Kick off, Ed.
Right, so this is idiot. Anyway, we get started. This is idiots who watch stuff. Martial art, 80's martial art.
Blending back into the background. Is that what he's? Is that his ninja? Is that your ninja move, Pete?
Yeah, he's disappeared. Ninja magic. So we have with us Big Papa P Money, Pete Dancer.
Hello.
And, but yeah, I know, Chris. Yeah. I'm big Chris Mongo.
Did he pick that? Is that?
No, that's like two of his fucking nicknames.
Did he pick both of them?
What ones did you pick? Well, P-Money I got off a homeless guy in New York because I gave him all my spare change.
Sonic boom! You win!
We have a very, very special guest with us for this episode as well. He was my first proper martial arts instructor. He's one of the most beautiful people I know. He's champion kickboxer, coach extraordinaire. He's up there with the best of them that I've ever trained under. Like, he's definitely the best I've ever trained under, by the way. There's
You
two
have to
underneath
say
him.
that, Ed.
Would you-
You have to
No,
say
no, I
that.
don't have to say it. There's two underneath
Would
him
you
that's
say-
very, very close to him, but he is the best.
Hey Ed, would you say best of the best?
Best of the best.
Oh, I love it. Oh, John. Yes.
He runs Red Rhino Kickboxing Club. Currently just about to start. Well, probably by the time this goes out, they will have opened up in Rock Hill.
Wow.
He's an expert in social development and he won an award in social innovation.
Yeah.
Okay, so my man, the real deal, Mr. Jiggy himself, Karl Flynn. How are you, brother?
Thanks very much, Ed. I'm very good, and I'm blown away by that. Thanks very much.
Well, don't get too serious, man. You know.
Yeah, no, I'm trying not to, but like, I mean,
Yeah, just for the Carl, this will be edited out of the podcast and it'll just be news.
oh great. Well, fuck you, Eddie, for putting me on the spot. But blown away at the same time, and really appreciate it. And thanks very much for having me on, lads. And likewise, like I hope at some stage that we could get together. I'm sure everyone has an idea in their head of like what a kickboxing class looks like and all. And you're probably not wrong, to be fair. But I'd love, if you ever wanted to get together, just us three, us four for the crack, give it a go. You know, it's more than welcome. My pleasure. Like, we'd have.
Thanks a million. Sounds great.
So give us all your details as regards the internet and stuff like that. You get you on Facebook. You're on Instagram now as well, right?
Yeah, we're on everything. Our website is currently being developed. We're going to have things like an online store. We're going to be delivering things online as regards like packages. Like I would be on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook for sure. You can find out kind of all the latest and greatest there. At the minute with lockdown and stuff like that, and the timing of us just open, I can't give away too much, but just for sure, it's definitely going to be a club to watch for lots of reasons, for community development, for the champions it continues to produce, to the, you know, and I'm in a much better space. I'm much happier doing it, and I've never had the opportunity, anything that we've kind of ever achieved as a club from a competition point of view. It's always kind of been sharing a premises or renting a space 6 hours a week, here or there. We've never actually had a full-time operation. I kind of always did youth work and activity and stuff. And I just so happened to love martial arts and come across some great characters like yourself, Eddie and Andy and James, as you know. And I don't know, it's just really really a social club more so than anything. And then, you know, just magic started to happen. You know, you've got you and your story, you've got James and his story. You've got so many examples of just things that come out of it. So I never looked at it from a business point of view. And then a lot of youth groups and the local councils and all started to take notice, and they reached out and they asked me would I collaborate with them on something, and that blew up. It got really big, and things the way they are, you know, kind of have to look at the different.
Take a step back a bit.
Yeah, well, you know, reluctantly. Well, no, I'm looking forward to it. You know, as I said, much happier and having the crack, and it's getting back to that. It's getting back to doing martial arts and stuff, and you can be so busy all the time getting caught up in stuff that you just forget. Oh yeah, this is fun. Like, this is why you do it, you know. And that can bog you down.
Well, I've had a chance to get into the new gym. It's absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait for it to open up properly so people can see it and really get involved with what you do. Like, because what you do is fucking, you know, it's out of this world. But like, just to get back to yourself, like, how did you get into martial arts? What was the main thing that grabbed you about it?
I can't actually remember exactly, Eddie. I've been doing something since as far back as I can remember. My first memory is being in a karate suit and doing kata, you know, in a small community center in Tipperary. And it's just, you know, we traveled around a lot, and then wherever we went, they kind of dropped me into the local whatever it was. At that time, it was kind of like finding a Chinese takeaway. At that time, be kind of hard enough. So a Chinese martial art to be. And done so, like, you'd have boxing, and then you'd have like kempo, and you'd have like loads of kind of stuff at that time, and then all this new wave stuff, K1 and Thai boxing and all that stuff. That was kind of like a level up. So she moved around a lot, Eddie, and I've always kind of done something. I've always been kind of good at. I kind of really took to those things naturally. I either loved it. So I was really kind of more so attracted to philosophies and stuff of martial arts and stuff like that. And then you get a little bit older and a little bit more testosterone. You start looking for bigger and greater thrills, and then more and more contact. And here we are. And that's what, you know.
Yeah.
You'll never catch the dragon at the end of it, you know. You just keep going.
Win it. Was it ISKA belt, wasn't it? Out in Yarmouth and Hull.
Yeah, a senior title is just something else. So you can, like, there's so many competitions. When I was younger, everything was separate. So like Kempo stuck to Kempo, Taekwondo went to Taekwondo. Everything was separate. And then there was this kind of thing, kind of like an open mat, where like all the styles, just like out of a movie, could get together and prove who's the best. And so that's what happened. And you know, I won a lot of things as a junior in different kind of styles and competitions and mats and stuff like that. But then I got senior and time with my son and all coming along. That was just something I wanted to do for me, just something. But I was kind of going out as that was coming in, type of thing. Yeah. So I would love to do the stuff that the younger lads are doing now. That's seriously cool. But no, I'm always what would you say? Yeah, I had my fun, and that's it. And I still get the same buzz watching you know, a beginner come on, you know, to kicking over their head, to winning something, to just, you know, just being a happier person. I get as much buzz from that as a genuine, and I can say that I get as much buzz from that as I did as ever winning anything for myself. So
Yeah.
that's just the way I'm wired. So I don't even have a choice, Eddie, as you know. Like when you're wired like us, you kind of you just have to do it. Like you don't to be anything else to make you miserable. Like so.
Cut to the other fight. The other fight was completely different. I did not
that's
like
what I
it.
said. Like, the next fight was if like people would have to be told, you know, this is not for a world title. Like there's nothing on the line here because it was like a fought in a phone box.
We tried to murder each other. Yeah, I did not like him, and I don't think
You see, that's where I really saw what Karl does, because I was filming it just behind your head, Karl, and Andy's, and I couldn't string a sentence together. I couldn't keep calm. I was so nervous. Whereas you were just nice and when you came back to the and sat down on the stool, and you could tell Ed is like totally amped up, and he's in the middle of a fight for his life, and you were just cool, calm, collected. It's like unbelievable.
He caught me with such a hook in the first round that I don't remember anything Karl said to me until like after the second round. Like we couldn't. I was just out. Like.
Yeah, but if you even think about this, but like that City West ring was a big, plenty of room to move around in, and then we were in, where was it?
The right venue.
The right venue. Where was the ring stuck on the dance floor?
Yeah.
And like,
fighting on the dance floor, yeah.
Fighting on the dance floor. Well, he's done that Ed's been on the tiles a few times.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. We'll get to that.
Yeah, it was good fun, but like that, you know.
Well, it's the fact that like he was throwing punches from his ankles, like so he had like 30 seconds or so in him where he was dangerous, and then he was blowing out his arse, and you kind of got going.
Yeah. I think I would have stopped him if I hadn't kicked him in the balls in the second round, and the ref gave him like a lot of time to fucking recover. I think I'd have fucking stopped that way. I fucking did not like him.
No, there was a club from Portlaoise that I kind of had to nudge into the middle of to film it, and like that one of them just pulled me aside, and I was there, oh fuck it, what have I done? And he was there, who the fuck are them two? This fight's amazing.
Well, that's another thing. Like, how many champions have you coached now? Like, you know, like James is what, European and then world as well.
World and national, and then there's different organizations, and there was Killian. You remember Killian?
Yes.
It was his dream. Just before he flew out, he was like, you know, Karl, I just want to be a champion like before I go. So made some calls, and he put himself through hell to do it, and Jesus. Anyway, long story short, there's Killian and James, Paul, myself, another Paul, Archibald, Fabrice. And that's it. So every year that we've been out, in the 8 years now that we've been out, we've averaged 2 champions a year.
Wow.
In some discipline. As I say, as a part-time operation, it's secondary, you know, having fun is first. If I had to say, I had a great teacher who put it much better than I could ever say. He said we take our art very seriously, but we take ourselves very easily. And the ethos behind that, it's like all these guys, like they're not like your stereotypical jocks and stuff like that. I mean, they're very creative, specialist people, eccentric for want of a better word, free thinkers, and so if it's not broke, there's no need to repair it, as the old adage goes. So
I thought you were going to talk about Ed's nose for a second, and I went, no, sure. He really used to come in every week going, I think I broke my nose again. With a big smile on his face.
If it ain't broke, kick harder.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Sure you can.
But like even watching James McGurk, like he will be your pupil that has kind of risen the highest, am I right? As regards world titles and stuff.
Well, I would never say. I would never say.
I know you can't, but like.
No, but I genuinely wouldn't, Eddie, because we never, like, I mean, that's not something nice that I say to be nice. James is like my first student,
Yeah.
and we've been on an incredible adventure, and we're more than student coach. You know, now like we're in business together, and that's incredible. And James, we could talk about all the milestones along that. But when someone comes in the door, like, and you know, they don't know kind of exactly what they do. They just kind of have an inkling that this is something that they'd like to try and, you know, give it a go. And they see what you're doing, or they see what someone else is doing. They say, oh, that must be amazing. But I just put it back to them like, this is like, you know, if there's two people and one guy just, you know, is, you know, very unfit, and he just sees that hill outside his window and he wants to get to the top of that. And then you have another guy who's a great adventurer and wants to climb the top of Everest. You know, if the two of them climb to the top of that hill, they put in the work and they get to the top, I would say to them, who do you think feels better? And the answer is, and I can tell you because, like, I've been on both sides.
I thought you were going to say, because I've climbed that hill and I've climbed Everest.
Yeah, well, not Everest, not yet. It's on the list. But who feels better? The answer is they both feel exactly the same, because that's both what they wanted. So some lads want the 5K1, some guys just want to lose weight, some girls just want to protect themselves. We do so much, like, between fighting and youth groups and counselling, and just so much that it'd be impossible to say, you know, what's the highest. But I couldn't even tell you who I'm most proud of. You know, I'm proud of all of it. And you know, the professional, when the lads started kind of fighting professional, that's new territory. So we had James, would have been the first, Fabrice and Paul, and that was scary because that was something new for me. And the shin guards come off, and it's a little bit more. The stakes go up a little bit more, and so I suppose in terms of competition, how far we've come, I suppose I'm really proud of those boys for you know, like, trusting me to get them to that far. The job that they did, and going up against the competition that we came up against, because these are some of the biggest gyms, some of the biggest names with teams of people, and we're just four guys in a room, you know, and stealing the show. So I suppose you could put that up there as a highlight.
Perfect.
Yeah, that works though, man. Four people in the room works rather than these massive gyms, like, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. It's just you know, the vast majority that I would deal with, at least in the adolescent phase of life, they come in with the haircut, they've got the sleeve, they've got the tattoos, they've got everything except for the commitment, the talent, you know, or the inclination, but they've got all the gear. And so I think the gyms and stuff like that, a lot of that, the images is so artificial and superficial that people go to these things and they're let down and they think that it's them, and it's not them. It's just like different strokes for different folks, like, you know.
I was going to ask that, because if you like go back to what would have been 2015 sort of, or 2016, we went from nothing to kind of having the biggest martial artist superstar, earning millions in the world.
Who has a massive, like, literally a massive mallet of a head.
Yeah.
In real life, his head is fucking unbelievably big. Like, I don't mean metaphorically, like his physical head.
He's got a big cranium.
He has a massive cranium.
Yeah. Like what effect did that have, I suppose, on the scene in, you know, all these different clubs? Was there people all of a sudden turning up out of nowhere to go, I want to be that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but come here, like, I mean, I wouldn't take a negative stance on that, guys.
I was there both times he fought in Dublin. I'm all in.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, there's always, like, like, guys, I'm sure we all have our wrestling heroes or our rock heroes or whatever. Our moms and dads, our generation get it. But regardless, it got you involved, it got you passionate, it got you in. So that can't be a bad thing, you know. So
but like it did put, like, all that, it did sort of put oh, look at it, you know, because there was a lot of people, you know, sort of casuals and sort of people that had never even known what it was. All of a sudden it was like, oh, there's one down the road, there's one in the next town, there's one, you know what I mean? It kind of got a bit of a awareness about the sport or and martial arts in general.
Yeah, it kind of changed it, didn't it? Like from the traditional sort of martial arts to a more varied sort of like even like kickboxing clubs starting to do sort of K1 and Muay Thai and stuff like that.
For sure, yeah. I think you know, when you're mixing two waters together in the one cup, there's going to be a little bit of mixture and a little bit of an unsettling. What I'd like to see, like, well, anyway, our ethos and our club is a little bit more traditional. Like we do bow, you know, things like honor, courage, respect, humility. They might be corny or old-fashioned ideas, but I tell you, a please and thank you has got me further than any degree or piece of paper. And if you can reinforce that with physical positive activity in social circles, then you'd be amazed at what that can do. So yeah, I mean, like that, a good instructor, you know, it depends, you know, what's your mission, you know?
Yeah,
you know,
great.
that's it. So and come here, the good thing, Pete, about our club as well, our martial arts in general is there's no escape in reality. You know, it is or it isn't. You are or you aren't, and we're going to find out. And you know, so you can come in with whatever bravado you want, but we'll find out. You know,
Well, not
and,
the fucking hell, yeah. Fucking hell, yeah. Fucking hell.
I've always said there's few things in life more informative than getting punched in the face. You know, I mean, I think it's an experience that everyone should have at least once as an adult. Just really get popped a good one, because it'll, you know, it changes the way you think about things. You know?
Well,
absolutely.
I always remember, and it was the Bray Boxing Club had to post I think, because they were like doing a few beginners, you know, looking for a beginners class, and then about 2 weeks later they had to post up on their Facebook page, listen, you are going to get punched in the face, because I'd say I think they had a packed gym the first day, and then there was barely anybody there the next time, and it was just trying to get into, you know, like it is part, like we will look after you, but there might be the odd punch in the face in a boxing club.
That's Pete.
Yeah.
Nothing like getting the shit kicked out of you to really just put things in perspective, you know.
Yeah. Particularly with the
dad's gym, right?
Huh?
Sorry.
Bray is Katie Taylor's dad's gym.
Kate Taylor, yeah, well, he's not involved anymore now. Like, it's all kind of you know, less said about that, the better.
Pete's in the fucking airlines, yeah.
This isn't going in the podcast, but he is back in Bray, Ed.
Back in Bray.
Looking for you.
I met him on the cliff walk.
Oh Jesus!
I let him pass.
Yeah.
Again, we'll you know.
Yeah.
He's a very nice man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Brilliant. Right. Pete Taylor comes and beats the crap out of all of us.
Ready to watch stuff!
I would never have heard of Bruce Lee or anything like that before Karate Kid, you know?
Yeah.
I thought Ralph Macchio was the fucking man.
I was just going to say.
He was, though. He was.
Yeah.